Hey, Jeff here. Have you ever been on a road trip before and you see a billboard making outlandish claims? World's largest ball of twine. World's largest can of Mountain Dew. Clean restrooms. It's always something to grab your attention. Well, today I'm going to take you all around the country to different roadside attractions, so grab a snack and something to drink and let's get going. Special shout out to Dollar Store Crush for this idea. If you have any ideas, leave in the comments down below. Alright, let's go read those reviews. For our first stop on our roadside attraction tour, we're going to the Leaning Tower of Niles in Niles, Illinois. This replica to the Tower of Pisa, yeah, sorry to burst your bubble, this one did not come first, was built in 1934 to cover up the large water tank and pump to keep the artificial lake filled in the park. Later on, the tower was donated to the YMCA and then later bought back by the city so they could do renovations to it, and it's open today for people to visit, so let's go read some one-star reviews. We'll start off this Leaning Tower with Kara. Really shady people coming in and out of there. Tower is cool. Sketchy people are always outside the door of the Y. Feels very unsafe and is consistently infected with bed bugs. I like how this is a review for the tower and they have the tower is cool sandwiched in between all of this terrible stuff and bed bugs? What the heck? The next review comes from James with a bike helmet on. I hope you don't want to ride your bike here. Surrounded by death roads. There's a reason I mentioned he was wearing a bike helmet, but I don't know what death roads are. Do you guys have a theory? Sounds pretty scary to me. The next tower review comes from Dale. Looks okay. Nothing around it to do. No tables to have a lunch at. I'm not sure what kind of entertainment Dale is expecting out of a Leaning Tower of Pisa replica, because for me it'd be oh, that looks pretty cool. Moving on. This next review comes from Alex. My friend is part Italian and this hurts my feelings. Do you think Alex gets offended by like the Olive Garden too? I'm not too sure, but let's head to the next attraction. For the second stop, we're going to head up into the mountains of Colorado to the Bishop Castle. A one-man project built by the late Jim Bishop with a piece of land he purchased for $450 when he was 15 years old. Jim had a lot of fights with the Washington bureaucrats over the usage of the land and a whole bunch of stuff, but he built this castle all by himself. And well, people visit it today and leave some one-star reviews, so let's go read those reviews. We'll kick off the Bishop Castle with Joel, 0 out of 5 stars. This place gave me the heebie-jeebies and a goat shot on my mother. I genuinely do not understand the sheer number of positive reviews for this place. It's quite off the beaten path, so it's a real waste of time, despite the beautiful scenery to and fro. If you love crazy rambling signs and want to entrust your life to the welding and carpentry skills of a random paranoid dude, I guess this place will be your ideal destination. Just make sure your tetanus shots and life insurance policies are up to date. While I refuse to climb the narrow staircases and hang out on the shoddy steel balconies with unmonitored numbers of guests, my mother climbed one of the spindles and was pooped on from above by a rambunctious castle-dwelling goat. Don't even get me started on the death trap of an elevator, the random holes in the floor, and the lack of insert anything safety related here. Yes, it's free, but your hospital bill won't be. This place is like an unregulated McDonald's play place covered in tetanus for adults. You might love it, you might hate it, but someone's gonna be screaming. Let's see if Megan had any run-ins with goat scat. Main issue was the fact I left with a gash in my leg from a goat that wouldn't stop headbutting people. Absolutely no help from the gift shop or cafe when they were going after me and my 5-year-old daughter, who left screaming and crying from the goat running at her to ram her. That is when I got hit because I picked her up to protect her. Followed us out to the road, continued to charge at me. I ended up picking up a stick to be able to keep it away just to get us in the car. Absolutely ridiculous. Was told they can't put the goats up, then maybe don't have an old goat that doesn't want people around out. Oh man, so this goat doesn't just poop on people, it also rams them? That's no bueno. That means no good in Spanish. Next up sounds like a bad guy from an 80s movie. It's Cruiser. This is one of the most bizarre places I've ever visited. You're hit with a questionable sign the second you walk up to the entrance, and more pop up as you continue walking around, going on and on about the family and the legal battles. As you begin to explore deeper into the castle, you quickly realize this isn't a fun stop to drive out to, and it's actually a death trap that will be the result in disaster. Every step you take is uncertain, and the architecture is nothing short of questionable. When I was doing a little bit of research and looking for videos for this place, I was watching watching videos where like there's kids up in the towers waving at their parents and stuff, and I'm like, is that a kid waving goodbye to their parents because they know this place is gonna fall apart? No, but this is definitely not one of those places I would ever want to go up and visit. Would you climb up and check it out? Let me know. How was Shannon's Bishop Castle experience? Let's read about it. Do not go with small kids. This place is a death trap. Unfinished stairways that just drop off, metal sticking out in places. There is a reason for laws around safety and why he cannot charge as a tourist site. Let's also add that the owner is incredibly racist. They didn't get attacked by any goats or anything, but they do follow the same sentiment as this place. It looks kind of cool, but it is very dangerous, especially for kids, so I would never bring your kids there. But if you've ever been there, let me know, and let's go to the next attraction. The next stop is Stonehenge II, the sequel. Located in Texas Hill County, Texas, it was built by Al Shepard and his friend Doug Hill, made of plaster and wire, so sorry to break it to you, it's not real stone. It is a 2/3 replica of the real Stonehenge over in Stonehenge, England, or whatever. Unlike the OG Stonehenge in England, this one is not made with the orientation of the sun in mind. It was made pretty randomly, and it's been moved a couple of times, so let's go read some 1-star reviews of these rocks. Well, kinda rocks. We'll kick off Faux Stonehenge with Amy. I don't get it. We didn't even have to get out of the car. It was so small. I for sure thought it was going to be an actual replica. Whoops! We are clearly in the minority opinion here, but I would not recommend it. Made just for families? It tickles me for some reason that Amy went to this place and left a review but never even got out of their car. They got so disappointed from a distance. They're like, we're not even going to get out of our car. Everyone stay in. We're not even going to go up there. We cannot glorify this fake Stonehenge. The next review comes from the famous actor John Wayne. No, it's probably just some old man who idolizes John Wayne, but let's see what they had to say. I'm like, aliens set up rocks. No, maybe foreigners, but not some space alien. Alright. This John Wayne doesn't seem like he'd be the greatest dinner guest. How does Stonehenge, the sequel, go for Chelsea? Let's find out. We played baseball in the field. The Stonehenge replica is not very impressive, but worth a stop if you have time to kill. Playing baseball with a Stonehenge in the middle of the field is like a backyard baseball dream for young Jeff, and I don't think Chelsea and Amy would get along about this place. Chelsea thinks it's cool and worth the stop. Amy drove there and wouldn't even get out of the car. Let's keep reading. It's time for Tam's opinion. This is probably the worst experience. I came down from Los Maples SP and made a detour to see it. Based on the average reviews, it was utterly underwhelming, with fake and hollow slabs of rocks. False advertising for sure. If you want to see Stonehenge replica, head to West Texas in the Odessa area at the University of Permian Basin. You get real stones there. It wasn't too hard for me to find that these weren't real stones, but if you just Google and see the pictures of it, you would probably assume they were real rocks, so I can feel for Tam there. I just love the fact that this guy's backyard dream turned into this like art piece that people leave 1-star reviews at, so let's head to the next place. If you've made it this far, you must like me for some reason, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more. Alright, back to the weird attractions. Our next stop is off of Old Route 66. It is the Blue Whale of Catoosa, Oklahoma, and I know I'm not saying that one right, and I'm sorry. Built by Hugh Davis in the 1970s as an anniversary gift to his wife. That's one good husband there. It was later converted into a public swimming hole until 1988 where it closed down. It's been restored by paint and other things for over the years, but it has never really been reopened to swimming, and it looks like kind of creepy now, so let's go read some 1-star reviews. Let's see if Liv had a whale of a time or not here. This place was very hyped up on Google, but we did not get to see that glory. When we came, we went into the whale, and the top to climb into was shut. There were spiders and mud. There were slides, but we weren't able to swim in the pond. The bathrooms were closed. We went to a picnic table, and there were ants and hair on the table. The mushrooms were broken, and the place felt very sketchy. Would not bring your family here. In this review, they use the word we a lot, so I have a feeling that Liv did bring their family here and was very disappointed by like the stagnant pond and this like falling apart blue whale and the bathrooms being closed. It kind of just sounds like an abandoned place. Next up, it's Night Riders. We came all the way from Poland to see this. Just kidding. But the whale and its surrounding areas are hilariously underwhelming. For kids, it's probably the most interesting thing in the world, but for adults, oh man. Also, it's on historic Route 66. It really is a sight to see. Don't get your hopes high. It's too bad that Liv didn't read this review from Night Riders before she decided to come here with her family or with somebody else. The next review comes from Robert. Well, as a kid and on birthdays, this was awesome, but time takes its toll and is needing a helping hand for restoration. But I haven't seen it in 30 years, and it brought back fond memories. Maybe someday it will be a fun place for kids again. So check it out in a few months and see how they're coming along. Maybe next summer it'll be once again. Unfortunately, this review was left 3 years ago, and it has not become once again yet. Does this blue whale bring back fond memories for Brenda? Nasty bathroom, snakes in the water. Disappointed. Oh, nightmare fuel. I feel like the bathrooms being nasty is a given, but snakes in the water? No thank you. Fun fact. This next review is from Camel. The person, not the animal, needs to be fixed and allow swimming. You couldn't pay me enough to swim in the water around this thing. Snakes and how creepy and ugh. No thank you. Next attraction. Next up is the world's largest ball of paint. Located in Alexandria, Indiana, in like a guy's backyard shed, converted garage. I don't know, but it's like a big workshop with this big ball of paint hanging from a hook. This creation was started by Michael Carmichael in 1977 when he encouraged his toddler son to cover a baseball with some pastel blue house paint, and well, there's been tens of thousands of layers added to it. It's over 14 feet in circumference and weighs over 2.5 tons. Wow, that's a big ball of paint, and well, people go there and leave 1-star reviews, so let's go read them. We'll get the giant paint-covered baseball started with Rachel. Wasn't sure what to expect, but this place was sketchy. Saw this attraction pinned on Google Maps and decided to check it out with the family on the way home from vacation. It was only a few minutes out of the way, so we figured why not? And it ended up being in the shed of someone's house. Weird, but alright. There was a sign on the front glass door that says to go to the front porch of their house, but to be careful because the porch was in poor condition, and not to worry, the dogs are friendly. Meanwhile, I hear these big old dogs barking on the other side of the fence like they want to tear my face off. I decided to keep my family in the car and that I would just take a picture through the glass. As soon as I took my phone out, a couple of women started yelling at me that I needed to make an appointment. Definitely wasn't worth arguing with them because at this point everything just felt extremely sketchy. I happily got back into my car and left. I don't suggest stopping here. The lack of appointment is what did Rachel and their family in. I guess you need an appointment to come here because part of coming here is painting a layer onto the giant ball of paint and all that, so maybe that's why? I don't know, let's keep reading. Did Sean find it as sketchy as Rachel did? Labeled as a roadside attraction, but you have to have an appointment to see it. Not worth an excursion through the country to stop. I would have avoided it had I known. It's really hard to plan a stop when you're driving, and not sure when you might arrive. This is also listed as being open 24/7, so must be missing out on a lot of stops. I might have purchased one of the cute signs they sold had we not been turned away. If I saw a sign for the world's largest ball of paint, I definitely would not think it was appointment only. But I'm guessing it's appointment only because people get to paint the ball, right? Let's see what happened to Topher. Is this Topher Grace? Could see paintball through door only. Well, now this one has me intrigued. Is it a paintball or a paintball? I'd rather go see a paintball. What do you guys think a paintball would be? Alright, next attraction. Let's head down to the McGinn's PistachioLand in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Home to the world's largest pistachio statue that's made of concrete. The McGinns have been farming pistachios on this land since 1980, and the world's largest pistachio is built as an honor to the founder of the land, Tom McGinn. And people visit it and leave 1-star reviews, so let's go read some. We're gonna crack into these giant pistachio reviews and start with Joel. This is the first review I have ever done, but only because I felt this place deserved it. I can honestly say I was greatly disappointed. First off, the giant pistachio is not real. My wife and I took a detour on our way to vacation in New Mexico, hoping to see the biggest pistachio of all time, according to the billboard ads along the route. Lies! It was just a concrete creation that was painted to look like a pistachio. Biggest letdown of my life. Second off, it was really cool to see all the different pistachio products they had going, but the biggest letdown, outside of the giant pistachio, was their pistachio ice cream. If I grew my own pistachios in the middle of the desert and had a giant fake pistachio to attract customers, I would, at the very least, make my own homemade pistachio ice cream. They bought their pistachio ice cream from Blue Bunny. Are you serious? Huge waste of time and a huge letdown. Pistachio ice cream is my favorite, and they couldn't even do that. I was absolutely let down and would never recommend this place to anyone. Sounds like Joel was mostly let down from the pistachio not being real. If I was that excited to see the world's biggest nut like that and it ended up not being real, I feel pretty depleted too. Let's see if Roy was as let down as Joel. Pistachio ice cream was great, but paid for a double scoop and got what seemed like a single scoop compared to every other place in my 60 years on Earth. Alright then, well, Roy likes pistachio ice cream but does not like the portion he was given. He thinks he's getting skimped out on the double portion, at least based on his experience in being alive for at least 60 years on this Earth. What kind of power is behind this next review from He-Man? Billboards for hundreds of miles advertising their pistachio ice cream, and when you show up it's just Bluebell. That's lame. I can get Bluebell at home. I didn't know they had Bluebell ice cream on Eternia. Better keep that away from Skeletor. I would be a little bit disappointed if I went to a pistachio farm and I bought their ice cream and it ended up being Bluebell and not homemade. Like, that seems a little misleading, but I don't really care. I'm lactose intolerant. Hold on to your hats, because we're going to go visit the world's largest covered wagon in Lincoln, Illinois. So Illinois gets a Leaning Tower of Niles and the world's largest covered wagon. How lucky are they? This wagon is recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest covered wagon, so you know it's legit. It was created by David Bentley in 2001, and then later on this guy named Larry Van Bibber bought it and donated it to the city, and it was relocated to Route 66. Pretty cool stuff. Let's go read some one-star reviews of the world's largest covered wagon. The first review comes from the absolute dumbest attraction all of central Illinois. Such a snore fest. My question is, how many other attractions are there even in central Illinois that could compete for the dumbest of all? The next review comes from Kevin. Really for Route 66 fans only. Cover is no more. It does seem like over the most recent years, the cover covering the world's largest covered wagon is no longer covering it, so that way it's not covered by the Guinness Book of World Records for being the world's largest covered wagon, right? The next review is a 2-star review, but it's a good one, and it comes from David. It was fun to see this and read the history of its making. Worth stopping for 5 minutes if you have to stop for gas or food. Otherwise, just read about it as you drive on by. How does one read about a covered wagon as they're driving on by? Is it just like a big sign that says world's largest covered wagon built in a guy's backyard and then donated by the city by a different guy? Is that what it says on like the sign as you go by? I don't know. Let's keep reading. The next review for the wagon comes from Steven. We'll never go back. The employees were very rude. As far as I can tell, there are no employees that work at the wagon, maybe at the rest stop gas station nearby, so I'm not too sure what Steven was talking about here, but alright, let's go to the next attraction. Let's go back in time to the prehistoric age and visit the Cabazon Dinosaurs in Cabazon, California. These dinosaurs were originally created by Claude Bell, who owned a restaurant nearby, as a way to attract more customers to his restaurant. Then it turned into a park later on, and later on from that, even in 2005, a bunch of creationists bought the park and turned into a creationist museum with the dinosaurs. Allegedly this material has been removed, but we'll find out in these reviews. Eric visited this place just a couple months ago. Let's see how it went for him. The Cabazon Dinosaurs were truly one of the great post-war California roadside attractions for decades. Not anymore. Now the Cabazon Dinosaurs are owned by the young Earth creationists, who not only deny the scientific consensus on evolution, but promote their intellectually bankrupt notion that the Earth is only thousands of years old and the truth can be found in the Bible. Adding insult to injury, these idiots paint and repaint the dinosaurs in garish colors and seasonal costumes. I'm grateful I got to see the Cabazon Dinosaurs before they were desecrated. Yes, desecrated by religious nuts. I wonder if the world's largest pistachio place sold religious nuts too. If this review is accurate, then the stuff I read online about the religious stuff being removed was not true. Very interesting. Let's keep reading reviews. The second review is from Sierra. Who do you think you are, Disneyland? $13 for adults and $11 for kids to tour a 5-minute dinosaur museum? I would have sent at least my kids in, but wasn't going to pay $50 to take all 4 of us. A $30 tiny push dino? If you brought the price down to a price that is more reasonable for the experience, you'd have a better chance at making money. If it were 5 or 6 a person, we would have totally gone in. But instead of making it 20, you just lost out on 50. Saw lots of people turn it down and take free pics outside. Get it together and make some money before you go out of business. I like the snarkiness of this. Who do you think you are? Disneyland? $13 for adults and $11 for kids does sound like quite a bit. This was 3 years ago at the time of me recording this, so I don't really know. That sounds like quite a bit, but not a lot at the same time. And what's a push dino? The next review is from Caitlin from 5 years ago. Let's see what happened then. This place, while seemingly cool to kids at first glance, is actually atrocious and ridiculous. It's a creationist museum that claims that scientists are lying and that the fossils tell us that dinosaurs walked with man 6,000 years ago. Don't! Take your kids here if you're hoping to show them something educational and intelligent. Do! Go here with a bunch of friends while drunk. Going to a creationist museum centered around dinosaurs drunk with friends sounds like a 10 out of 10 time. I don't know about you guys, but I would have a lot of fun. Matthew is a name from the Bible, but did he have any better look at this religious dinosaur center? Let's find out. Not worth the price of admission, $15 a person. The area is very small and the dinos not that impressive. I merely came to see the dinosaurs from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Movie magic leaves me underwhelmed again. Seriously, drop the ticket prices or you won't stay in business. It does not sound like the ticket price matches the expectations at all, so if the ticket price is a little bit lower, people would be happier, or if they brought more to the park, people would be happier too. It also does stink to see something from a movie you loved as a kid, or loved in general, and it just kind of lets you down. It can kind of ruin the movie for you, so you know what? Never meet your heroes, or something like that. And with that, you've made it to the end of the video, so make sure you leave a like and watch this video on screen now, because YouTube thinks you'll like it, and subscribe if you haven't yet, because I'm Jeff, and I want to make you smile. Alright, till next time, I'll see you later.